Hello everyone, TWK here, and welcome to my review of A Hat in Time, brought to us by Gears for Breakfast, an indie game that I believe was 100% crowdfunded, or at least mostly, I believe, if I'm recalling the story correctly. Anyways, decided to go with this different type of presentation. I haven't been in front of a camera in quite some time, nearly a year if you can believe it. Oh boy, where's that time gone? Nevertheless, so I do something different just to shake things up just a little bit and hopefully have a more relaxed style review because, sometimes you just get creatively stifled doing the same thing over and over and over again. So if for nothing else, just break the monotony, just do it this way. And do not mind any noise made by my cats, including Cloud, who is just making all sorts of noise over there. That's going to be a thing throughout this video, isn't it? Get used to that. Regarding the main plot of the story, it follows around a child that we in the community have grown to call Hat Kid. I think that's a proper name, as she is a kid and she wears a nice hat. And as someone who also wears a cap, hers is a rather nice choice, I must say. Everything is going dandy with her trying to go home via her spaceship, but unfortunately she gets interrupted by a mafia member who wants her to pay a toll. Because her ship just happens to be flying over Mafia Town, so all ships, including ones in space, must pay a toll. Hat Kid, of course, declines because the demands are ridiculous, but the Mafia member breaks into her spaceship and causes a vacuum of space to just pull everything out the window. How anyone is supposed to survive, I have no idea, but it's just goofy video game logic. Let's just roll with it. Also, her fuel source is sucked out as well, that being the timepieces. And with that, we've entered our first level, Mafia Town. And it's here where we meet up with Mustache Girl, who is a girl who happens to have a mustache, which up until today, I had myself, so, that gag fell short. Nevertheless, we meet up with her, and she ends up, forming an alliance with Hat Kid, and we take down the Mafia with her. However, afterwards, she kind of turns heel on us because she wants to use the timepieces to reverse time. And of course, Hat Kid, knowing the effects of time travel, I'm sure, either that or just not giving a damn, just decides, no, I need these for fuel sources to get home. It's up to viewer interpretation, really. And you'd think that this would be going somewhere, but that's not until, the end of the game. This isn't a narratively focused video game. This is more of just one that's focused on the art of being a collectathon. And oh boy, there are quite a few things to collect. Not as much as others, but still enough to keep you satisfied. The main thing being the timepieces, which are these hourglass-type gimmicks. These are essentially our jiggies, our power stars, our whatever may have you. Our next collectible is money, which this game refers to as pawns. That's P-O-N-S. Kind of a weird spelling, but whatever. It's this game's own world. It can spell made-up words however it wants to. Unless pawns is actually a real thing, then I'm just an ignorant fool, which honestly should not be shocking to anyone watching this video. Anyways, you use these pawns to purchase badges which give you some unique abilities, like not bonking against anything when you dive. Yeah, that's actually quite useful in later levels. And lastly, we have balls of yarn, which will allow you to create brand new hats, which you'll need because each hat has a unique ability. And the thing is, you need to collect at least one unique ball of yarn in order to craft a new hat. And some of these are only found in very specific locations. However, once you collect that one specific type of yarn, you just go on and collect any other type, and you can use that to create a new hat. And you will want to collect as many of these as possible because by the end of the game, oh boy, the price to craft these hats can go up pretty high. Like the last one, you'll need over 30 balls of yarn to craft a hat. And let me tell you, that can be pretty time consuming to collect. So I mentioned that our first area we're exploring is called Mafia Town. It is a pretty open area, especially for a first level, but one thing I like is that it's a very circular level. Everything just goes in a circle, as the term means. You see what happens? I don't script these out. I end up sounding like a fool, but I'm already going. We're rolling with it. We're just going to keep rolling with it. And it's because of this that makes everything super easy to find. You'll get the layout of this map down in absolutely no time. However, having said that, it's also quite linear in its first few actual missions, which is kind of a smart thing to do. It allows you to learn the layout in a very specific order. So that way, once it does get to the more open missions, you're already like, okay, that's over here, that's over there. All right, I already got those whole map memorized by this point, which is honestly really smart game design. One of the things about Hat in Time that I do really enjoy is how sometimes it can be quite non-linear in its mission setup, as sometimes you'll get 2 or 3 missions to do just at once. Like, okay, just here's a set of missions you can do, just do them in whatever order you want to. And that is super refreshing, especially after in my free time, not games I'm reviewing, but in my free time having played a few linear games. Alright, let's get to the second level, aka most people's favorite level, mine included, Deadbird Studio, which is all about 2 rival directors trying to create the perfect film and win the next award. That being the conductor, who has a Scottish accent, and then we have his opponent, DJ Grooves, who has this sort of disco style, baby. We're gonna make you a star. And one of the things I love is that conductor will always refer to DJ Grooves with this very just sarcastic tone, like, we're going to be better than that, DJ Grooves. And it's just like, just the way he pronounces it always puts a smile on my face. I'm going to be honest, DJ Grooves' levels, they're the lesser good of the two directors. Because, first you have one where you just run around this soundstage doing just random stuff. It's okay. And then the second level for DJ Grooves is having to lead this parade and is just constantly throwing more and more stuff at you that can hurt you. And it isn't fun. It's just annoying. Also, the parade following you can hurt you if they catch up to you, which is also annoying. So it's just all these annoying mechanics just thrown at the player. And it's just, oh my God, I hate it so much. I hate that level so much. However, the conductor has some very fun levels. The first one being a murder mystery mission. Oh boy, I just adore this so much. I adore the writing of it so much, especially the crows, who are supposed to be these sort of secret agents, and they have this very deep Steve Bloom type voice. And they also have these questionnaires that they ask Hat Kid, and whatever you fill in, they'll just, put it into their sentence, but instead of saying whatever word you put in, they'll just go, oh yes, I agree, having a pet name is amazing. And it's just more of that goofy nonsense that I just absolutely love in these types of games. Anyways, whichever director's missions you do the best in, that director wins the award, and also becomes the boss of this section. You haven't really talked about the boss fights much, but they're relatively well done for these types of games. Usually in these sort of CollectAthon games, boss fights can sometimes be hit or miss, but in this game, they are hit after hit after hit, and they can be pretty challenging. And it should be noted, there are no checkpoints for these bosses. Once you start a boss fight, you have to finish the whole thing in one go, and sometimes they put cutscenes in the middle of boss fights. So if you fail the boss fight, you have to start all the way from the beginning. However, I do think you can skip the cutscenes. I hope, because if not, that would suck to have to sit through those cutscenes all over again. I will say though, for the level leading up to the boss fight of Deadbird Studio, has you going through some tightrope sections, and I do not like the tightrope physics of this game. I feel like Psychonauts 2 handled it much better, and maybe that's just inexperience on these developers' parts, but I just don't really like it because the hitbox, hit detection, whatever you want to refer to it as for these tightropes, can be pretty strict if I'm being honest. Alright, level 3, the Subcon Forest. The story here is that an evil spirit steals your soul and forces you to do some chores, like fighting an evil outhouse. No, really, that's an actual boss fight that happens in Subcon Forest. Like, you're looking at the footage, right? This isn't some made-up mod. This is a real thing that happens, and another reason why this game rules. And at one point, you get to explore a haunted mansion, and I hope I'm not the only one that's getting Luigi's Mansion vibes from this. I mean, that had to be on purpose, right? Subcon Forest also has what I believe to be the toughest boss fight in the whole game, but that could just be due to the fact that I'm not the best at video games. I don't know. Let me know in the comments section down below. One thing that I absolutely love about this game is the fact that it has bonus challenges. You just go into these time rifts that are either within the levels or on your ship, and you get to go for these bonus timepieces. These levels are honestly some of the most challenging parts of the game, but they're also quite brief, but I think that works in its favor as you don't want things to be too long, especially when the challenge level is high. But they are totally worth it because with these, you'll not only get bonus timepieces, but you'll also get bonus aesthetics, including new flair for your hat, new color changes for Hat Kid, and new remixes for the soundtrack. And it was because of these timepieces that I was able to skip Alpine Skyline, which is why there's no footage of it in this review. I just love whenever video games give you that freedom to where it's like, you know, I don't actually want to do that level, so I'm just going to skip it. That's always just something that I will always appreciate in my heart. You can do it in Super Mario 64, you can do it in Jak and Daxter the Precursor Legacy, and you can do it here, and you bet your ass that I did. Because fuck that level. Not because it's poorly designed or anything, but it's because it takes you over 30 minutes to get each timepiece. Yeah, some of these timepieces can take an absolute age to get, especially the windmill level. Oh god. Oh man. Just once again, challenge is good, but when it goes on for an absolute age, it just starts to feel tedious. Alright, let's talk about that final level, shall we? So, Mustache Girl sneaks onto your ship, steals a whole bunch of your timepieces, goes back in time, and turns the world into literal hell. Like, no, seriously, look at this place. This is literally just hell. Also, she becomes the judge, jury, and executioner for everyone who lived on that planet. Of course, Hat Kid, needing her timepieces back and I guess also saving the world in the process or whatever, goes down to this hellish landscape and whips her ass. And she doesn't do it alone, she does so with the power of friendship! And by that, what I mean is that all the citizens sacrifice their own lives so that way Hat Kid can become immortal and just never die no matter how much damage Mustache Girl does to her, so that way Hat Kid can defeat her, get the timepieces back, reverse time back to where it was, and fix everything, bring everyone back to life, and just restore everything back to normal, which is basically what she does. And with that, the day is saved! Hoorays and hurrahs all around! Of course, that is, except for all the citizens of the planet who are still holding on to her ship for dear life because they don't want her to leave, but Hat Kid, she's got her home to go back to, so she literally just has to smack them away in just absolute hilarious fashion. And from there, we go to a pretty nice credit sequence, and that is A Hat in Time. Now, one note I want to make before we end things here is I absolutely love the design of the interior of the ship, which serves as your hub world in between all the levels. And the reason I love it so much is that it's because it's designed exactly how a kid would build a ship. I mean, it's got doors that open like in just overly cartoony fashion, and the bedroom for Hat Kid is literally just a giant pillow fort with a hidden area inside of it, which is exactly how a kid would build a spaceship. I mean, it's even got a slide in it. It's like, this is literally a ship designed from the imagination of a kid. So the people who designed this game clearly knew how to how to read the mind of a child, because when I was a kid, I would be like, yeah, that's exactly how I would build a ship. Anyways, that was Hat in Time, and this game is just absolutely fantastic. If you haven't played it yourself yet, do yourself a favor, go buy it. It's available for cheap. I think it's only like $25 American. Not sure how that translates into other currencies, but either way, it's super cheap, and you should support really good, independently developed video games, especially with how bland a lot of AAA games have gotten over the past decade or so. Could always use some life, just anything that just breathes innovation or just something unique into the world of video games. I will always be right behind. Anyways, that's the video, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed this unique presentation that I don't normally do. Probably go back to the old way in the next video. Just wanted to do this little thing, just little experimental type thing. Have a bit more of a relaxed atmosphere. Be a little more loosey-magoosey, you know what I'm saying? For next video, I have no idea. I literally don't know about. However, by the time I'm editing this video, I will know, and I will post a hint of some sorts somewhere around this, probably using the music from the next video game I review. I don't know. So, I'll see you then.
Huh?